Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Asylum. And welcome to tonight's episode of Homeward. So, let me think. We last session we have a few of more exploration. The past episodes, the crew, and our main characters, possibly heroes, possibly not heroes. We don't know yet.
It's a strong word for what we do.
Yeah,
Very strong.
These mortals that we're following around for some reason have been exploring a bit of the ship, going to the places that they think they might get some more extra memories. We went to Cousin Kara's office. We went to her room, discovered some food art. We went there to Nulodius rooms and what would be his work area at the arcane and science division section. And in his room, we found a lot of plants and things there. We went to S location, and not a lot there, but just lock memories behind some computers. And S, we tried to find their place in the ship, but at the moment lost and unable to find it, with possibly coming from the brig or somewhere else. Don't know. And as we were doing some exploration,
You said
we
S
went
came
to
from the brig. That was Mac.
Max. Sorry. I am confusing the two pink androids. My bad.
Yeah, Mac. I'm sorry, Mac is a criminal. S isn't a criminal. Maybe. We don't know yet.
No,
Probably
nobody's a
not.
criminal. If you don't remember,
Yeah,
are you really a criminal?
Yeah, how can you be convicted for a crime you don't remember?
Exactly.
Exactly. And nobody remembers you. There's nobody has a
precedent.
memory. There's no memories. There's no
Yeah.
camera right now. So, nobody's a criminal at the moment, right?
Right.
Yeah. And among the exploration, Nulodius McPherson decided that it would be a good idea to, why did I change my accent there, to the greenhouse area. And while you were exploring the greenhouse area, you heard some voices at the moment were incorporeal voices before you saw that among the plants and trees, some vines begin to move to show this very sleek and thin and slendery humanoid-like shape with a bit big butt. Would that be the word, like a bud, like the core of a flower?
But
Yeah.
Bud, yes.
Bud.
Yes.
Bud.
It is,
But glowing with a slight circular aura around it, with some spores moving and flickering. And whenever you hear the voice, you would see some of that glowing a bit more as it would move forward. Its large arms that would be almost as long as its body, moving like kind of stretching out as it's like moving with both legs and arms. It keeps a distance from you, though. It's not approaching like flowered the face, and that's where we left, as he was greeting you with some hesitation and wondering if you were alive, if you were good people, if you were going to harm it or them.
Do I get any sort of telepathic vibes from this thing? Is it a sentient creature? Is it thinking thoughts that I can detect? I wouldn't be able to know what it's thinking, only that if it is.
So what I can give you is that whenever you heard the voice, you actually heard the actual words along with the meaning behind it. You didn't feel like a sensation. It was more of a very direct intent of language and communication, asking
Gotcha.
if you were friends, if you were alive. And, also it was asking if you were alive, as in if you were conscious, if you were someone moving. And it entailed the full context that something not as with that self-awareness of existence would not be able to transmit.
Gotcha. It's a bit of a tricky situation. The alive part. As far as friends, I don't think any of us mean you any ill will. We're fellow shipmates. I assume you are staff or a passenger aboard this vessel. When we're just trying to find answers. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Melodious McPherson. Who do I have the pleasure of making acquaintance?
You see that what would be the head? That is this flower bud.
Bud.
Bud. Or blossom would also work.
Yeah.
Yeah, blossom. Say blossom, because otherwise I just imagine someone's actual butt.
Yeah. Okay.
Talking
So
like
I'm not
this?
feeling what hearing butt, right?
I am
No.
trying so hard to
Okay.
say that.
Say blossom.
Yeah, the stem, the blossom, that would be the head of it. That from this like humanoid form, you catch it might be the head. You see that it kind of moves to the side and then to the other side. You get a sensation of thinking before it. You hear in all of your minds the sounds as it says, Pluquar. My name is Pluquar. And I will copy how you write that for the chats of us, because
you know my questions before I ask them.
I also know some of these weird names. So I'm like,
Hey, I'm not that far off.
and you see that it relaxes a bit the shoulders, still using them and its long arms as a way to just remain standing still. I woke up here not long ago. A lot of sounds, a lot of noises, no memories, and some shambling individuals that were not friendly. They stopped moving some moments ago and just fell down. Melodious sounds familiar, and you sense that there's like an attempt to recovering memory, but like there's like the same sensation that you guys been feeling of unable to remember for some reason, and a bit of frustration.
Well, I'm very sorry that you had to encounter those dreadful creatures, particularly alone. Are you harmed, or do you require any assistance? We're trying to find a bit about who we are. None of us recall anything either. So we're in the same boat, both literally and metaphorically.
Hey, I got a bit hurt, but I will be fine. I think I haven't seen many other around. Doors were locked, and I was lost here, just hiding. I'm glad I seen more people. Yes, people here.
Yes, well, we certainly won't leave you alone. We will protect you to whatever extent we can. In the meantime, have you said you had no memory of how you got here or anything preceding waking up to the shambling undead. Have you been at all able to uncover information about who you are, what you're doing here, or what you need? And any roles? I for myself have ascertained that I am some sort of scientist, and I do have a bit of a knowledge about plants, which is why we're here in the greenhouse, and so fortunate to encounter you. But I digress. It's been a day or night. It's been
space. It's hard to tell
Space.
time.
You see that. Oh, I forgot how. Okay. Look, hour. Like you get into your mind the idea of a knot, as it tries to knot too, but it looks weird as it kind of does like that, like movement with this whole head-like form, and then you get a sensation of the idea of wanting it. Them wanting you to follow it as it begins moving across the marked pathways. The same weird kind of fluid motion of its whole body that looks like a mix of vines and roots as it moves very both elegantly and stretching every part of its body, and it does beckon for you guys to follow.
I will follow.
Cautiously, but yes.
Same.
Uncautiously. I trust this plant with my life.
I'm
Yeah,
really
you would, you
curious about-
botanist.
No trust. Hand on sword. Like ready to cut this thing down no matter what Ed says.
All the trust. It looks interesting, and I am fascinated by it.
I would say that, so like if I'm remembering correctly, that S had his hand on his gun when he went last time. I would say that he'd ease off of the weaponry, but he's still cautious. But that's just S.
So we've got Kinson. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we got Kinsankara and Null just like okay, and like trotting after them. We got the two giant androids behind us, like
Sus.
guard dogs.
One giant android and one average-sized android.
Okay, Mac ready to machete his way through this guy.
Yeah.
Through the jungle.
Machete.
It looks
So-
like a machete. It's really a sword, but compared to the rest of Mac,
It's you guys are moving, and you hear again the voice in your mind. It's good to hear and see people here. The ones I saw were just dead, moving, and some of the plants were also just. I felt so sad seeing them. Whenever the wave passed through, they just began to rot, and I was trying. Just the shaking of the cat.
He was stuck to my shirt. I'm sorry.
I thought you were just recreationally wiggling your cat.
Yeah, I thought the same.
I was trying to type, and I just saw that, and it just wasn't happening anymore.
I was trying to unhook him from my shirt, and it wasn't working.
Beautiful.
It's moving and it's saying, I'm glad to see more people around here. So have you seen other individuals around?
We have. We've made contact with quite a few up on the bridge, and as well as a few of the undead individuals. But we also observed that they stopped moving recently. But no, we've made contact with how many would you say? How many other people? A couple dozen, maybe?
More than that. Much more than that.
If I roll a history
Smart check.
or a smart check, could I give like a more exact number?
I'm going to say
smart
that
check now.
you won't require a check. Just in the living area where you saw the people starting to gather, you saw first the area was big enough that it could hold all of this.
Yeah, I know that we're like on a massive like city ship, so like I know like how much would be feasibly able to be carried.
You would count. You would have, if you were trying to count, which at the moment you were anxious about all the things. So I don't think you would have been able to have a proper number, but it was at least above the 400, 600 people perhaps that could be around. Could be more even because you have explored everything and not everybody was gathered there, but at least in that big area, it was enough that we're at least 400
Yeah,
spread out.
we're looking at a few hundred that we've seen. Though I would I would probably guess that there's maybe close to 1,000 people on board. No definite though.
Oh, okay. It's good to know that we are not alone then. And as it's guiding you guys, you're getting to like what you see, because there's some plants that are really, really tall, so they cover some of the view. But as you move a bit forward, there's some clearing enough that you can see this is a large greenhouse. And again, as I mentioned before, there also seem that sections that were separated, possibly for different kinds of climates and things like that. And you're going to what would be the center, that you see a kind of like a small building-esque that does have the now somewhat recognizable insignia of the Science and Arcane division of the ship. And as you're moving toward, okay, I require you to roll me an intelligence check.
Smart check.
Memory check. We'll start calling them like that.
Yeah.
19.
19. Okay.
Int is now a smart check.
So as you're walking and looking around, so fascinated by this creature, both that it's speaking through its mind, which where its mind is, it that stem in its, like that flower in its head? Like you're fascinated by this, and you're looking every now and then around and see some plants that ignite something in your memory, and suddenly you are again in the greenhouse, but there's more people around. There's some individuals wearing the same colors and kind of like uniform that you've seen around. Again, the insignia of this same division, tending plants, some doing some taking notes in some of their data pads, and next to someone, you're walking next to someone, and the movements ignite more of the memory that you're next to either the same individual, the same Plukwauer, or maybe someone of that same race.
Okay.
But in this memory, you're not referring to them in a name itself. Like it seems that you're talking at the moment, like following a conversation. I understand that you require more of this, but at the moment we have run out of more supplies for this art. And I understand that you've been wanting to do this small exhibition for the kids, but we would need to wait until the next stop, near the home. We've been a couple of weeks away from the pack worlds. Could you not wait a bit more, or use another type of food for this exhibition? Well, in this memory you answer with some security. I could try, I guess. Just what other kind of melons do you have available? Well, we do have some from the Vescarium. Unfortunately, the ones you're looking, they have cost more, especially after that small incursion we had some week ago. You mind if I ask? And you immediately interrupt, not in a aggressive manner, but in like a firm. I can't talk about those. Yes, I cannot talk about the prisoners yet. You understand the policy that the captain asked us. I just been curious. After what they did, I was expecting. Never mind. You see, it waving its long, viney, rooty hand. We'll see what I can do, and if I get any melon closely to the requisition that you're asking, I will send some. But if you... Fine. You're such a curious one. don't know from where you heard that, like coughing. It seems that it's something it learned to, make more imitate as it continues. Oh, by the way, doctor, just stop yourself. You stop it again. I'm not a doctor yet, but I know the captain has been mentioning that, but wanted to respect you. Mayhaps we could continue my sessions again in the next 3 days. I feel more ready to talk about you see the hand moving again, like trying to really imitate the normal gestures that a humanoid does, but it looks weird when it's like that. Just work more on my skills. I feel it has helped a lot with the crew. And you nod in this memory, and then you return back here at this instance. And you're hearing you kind of, in this memory lapse, you kind of skip a bit, and you hear the voice of Plukwakar again. I think here is where you people can find more information. I have access. See, one very long finger moves and presses into the console, and it activates the door, opens up for you guys to enter into this. Once inside, you recognize that it might be some kind of a small laboratory, small place to do some extra research for this particular section of the ship.
You guys...
I love this guy.
Yeah, fully out of character. These guys are very strange.
Oh, I love these.
I love them, but they're so weird.
My notes are just long on everything.
You guys see Kinsankara kind of zone out, but they continue to walk with everybody as they're zoning out. And I'm gonna say that it's probably because they were walking in the memory.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only reason that they didn't just stop dead.
I guess, who were you next to? Because I guess that would probably be the person who reacts the most.
It was.
I was next to Null.
Yeah, you got. It was like Plukwauer, then Null, K, and then at the back.
And then the androids.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
see the antenna every now and then just kind of twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone eerily silent for this little jaunt.
Gotcha. I feel like at this point, Null is accustomed to seeing everyone else remember stuff, like have these weird memory flashes, because he's also had them. So he's not going to address it. He's not going to say anything about it. He's just going to like put out his hand to the side, like sort of at Kinsankara's back, in case they like lose direction or start walking into something. Not touching them, but like getting ready to redirect if they walk into something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I would walk straight into a tree, but it's possible.
Right.
That's why we've got the rest of the group, to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And if it does, we can all laugh at you.
Yeah.
The walkways are kind of done in a way that you're not zigzagging all the way around.
So it's a straight path.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's very well organized, and
okay.
You wouldn't get like lost. Like, this is not a maze. This is very well structured and divided sections, so you can easily move around.
So with the small lab, does it look destroyed, like a mess or anything?
Looks like a mess. Definitely as if things were a bit tossed around. But this is like a situation you've seen all across the ship, just possibly because the ship. I don't think you would need at this point a roll to like pick up the trace that possibly the ship at some point was violently shake with such a strength that all of it like was rattling and things were falling around. Doesn't seem like this place was like ransacked or anything, just tossed around.
Space turbulence.
I did put the ship in reverse at one point.
Someone hit the brakes hard.
It was me. Sorry, guys.
Is there anything besides like the base mechanics here that would be like any sort of computerized things that I could like look into?
Yeah, there's computers here. There's sections. I say small, but this is a place that could easily hold 8 people comfortably working in different stations without being on top of each other. And if it was very busy, it could have up to 15, 16 in 2 in each station, and still have enough room to move around without bumping into each other. So, and among the different stations and sections, there's some that do have computers. Most of them have at least some sort of terminal. And there's one in the center of it that seems some sort of like desk area, like maybe someone monitoring things from here, or maybe the main chief of this area. And I would assume you would go to that one, or are you going to?
I'll go to the main one and see if I can look into it.
Yes, as you go there, you do see that the chair has a very curious shape, kind of large.
Is it bug shaped?
It doesn't look bug shaped. It looks more as something tall, something kind of slim would be able to comfortably use it in a way.
Is it null shaped?
No.
It's probably Plant Boy.
Yeah, I mean it's one of somebody
Boy.
in this room, and it's definitely not Mac.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
S is just gonna get to where he like takes notice of it, but like not in a way that like, oh, interesting. It's like, okay, cool, chair. Computer strap?
I might ask if a chair is plant shaped.
Right. Listen, I just described what I imagine. I have no clue how I would design a chair for this kind of entity.
Yeah.
Were you trying to get into the computer? What's up?
I want to just see what I can find, because basically what I'm trying to do with S is gather information, whether that information is what they were doing here in this laboratory, or if there was any sort of trace of what may have happened during the crash or just before it, or if there's any knowledge of malfunctions going on, because I know that we had a base malfunction in the entrance into this area for the decoms.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to gather information.
Roll computers.
All right, so that's an 18 on the die with an extra 14. So what's that going to be? 32?
The dumb, stupid game where you can just casually roll 32.
Right?
I need to check what's up with that, because it's way too high. You know what? It's fine. It's just you guys are supposed to be also very good at things.
According to how you told us.
Yeah, we're each very specialized.
Super specialized. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. And
I drive.
You drive good, exactly.
I drive good. S does computers.
So,
it's like the TMNT song, just different.
You begin checking the computer, and there's things that you're by now very familiarized. The damage in the system that doesn't let you fully get access into it, and once you get through it, and also some of the security that is still there, damage security too. So it's kind of easy to access to it. Well, at least circumvent some of it. But out of that very something fucking roll, I would say that you would get files over research for the plant life, you know, how things are progressing in the greenhouse, very spread out records and information and reports from various dates. You also see a couple of very loose, incomplete because of damage information and files from different planets. Some that were like, oh yeah, we're just passing through this known planet and we confirm about this and we gather some stuff about it. But the few of the files we find that are more that seem to progress in the timeline. You find that they are talking about worlds that haven't been explored much. And even to the latest part, you start seeing about mention of worlds that are just new to the charts. And you roll an 18, right? It was like
an 18 on the die, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would definitely get you. The last report that you get, that you're able to find, the last file, it's a very damaged one. You get a few lines of it, and out of it you gather unknown planet, unknown route. Most of life here is similar to a very large blurb that is damaged, is not able to be recovered. Then not the same as we passed. The rest of it is still very damaged, and you don't get enough gathering out of it. And the date in it, it only shows the month and year. It doesn't show the number, the date.
Exact.
Right.
It only shows month, and you're only able to recover with your skills the month and the year, not the day.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Finished it recently.
This was the last file that I'm able to recover. It's the most recent one, so we at least know that we've passed X month of X year.
Possibly, yeah. But you haven't been able to find something to cover, like, from this date, how much time has passed.
Exactly. So it's a less vague understanding of our vague timeline.
More or less. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, so S will finish up with that, share the findings, very succinct of everything here. It looks like the others, corrupted files, not much that I can find. Apparently, there was a lot of planetary research going on here. Expeditions to planets uncharted.
So, is it reasonable to assume that what has happened here and what continues to transpire is the result of us going to or getting too close to something we don't understand?
Potentially. We came from somewhere.
The Pact
They're-
Worlds.
The Pact Worlds. And we headed out.
Everybody roll a memory check.
Oh, I wish okay.
What am I? Do I add modifiers to this, or is this just going
It's
to be a
just-
fun D20?
It's
It's a
just a straight
Straight
int.
intelligence.
Oh,
Straight smart.
I'm surprisingly good at this, even though math doesn't seem to be.
22.
22. Okay.
19.
19. Okay.
I went from a 32 on my last check to a 9.
Hey, single digits, baby!
Yay! Yay!
I got you beat. 8.
Oh my god. So the androids are nonetheless wiser.
No.
Yeah, for the androids, just the wording about that, like, the pack worlds, yes, it remains like that. But for Nelodius and Kasinkara, as you're thinking, like, from where we came from, what would be home? You do think pack worlds, but there's also a very specific place in which the name does come to your mind. Absalom. Absalom.
Excuse me.
I will type it.
I love you too. Get out of my face.
No.
Get your butt
Cuddles.
out of my face.
Cats.
That poor cat.
He keeps coming back for love, so I think he's not mad at me.
Nope. Cat can be mad.
Mad
Just-
into mad love.
Oh, like King David's son. That's a there's a little Bible reference for my fellow Old Testament fans.
How many Old Testament fans do we have in the chat tonight?
It was King David's third son was named Absalom.
A core memory has just been unlocked. I want you to know that.
I know, right?
Like
Same
Yes.
though. Like
I'm like
Yes.
now
definitely a
sitting
core
in
memory.
like
I'm
Sunday
sitting at
school.
Bible camp and I'm not paying attention to what's going on and this story is being told
Yes,
to me.
ladies and gentlemen, we are just doing a retelling of the Old Testament right now.
Yeah. But
Oh
in
my god, this is
space.
Exodus. It all makes sense now.
Oh shit, no.
I got
We figured out the plot.
Everyone,
got
get
you.
your Old Testament now.
I have to walk 4 rooms away to actually get a Bible. Don't worry.
But yeah, that's the thing that you guys comes to your mind for Kay and Null.
Do we get the sense that that is the name of a planet, a city, like an organization? Do we get that sense at all?
Ooh, a place, yes. Not a planet itself, but there's like a flash of a city, large city.
Oh,
And when you look up, there's like a gleam of kind of glass before you see the massive void of stars above the city.
ooh.
And some occasional, like, the frames and silhouettes of ships moving above that massive glass structure.
So I have a question on my previous memory glint.
Sure.
You said incursion. Is that something that I can glean as like we got boarded by pirates kind of thing? Do I have any more specific thoughts on the word incursion? Or do you want me to roll again?
I need to think because. So here's an interesting thing. Whenever you're having a memory, you also sometimes think of what you were thinking and remembering that memory. So it's like a memory of the memory that you were having of that.
Right.
So it's kind of convoluted. I would say, what was your initial roll for that?
19.
19. No, I would say at the moment it kind of like when you try to remember and glean into that, there's that blockage of lack of connection. Like you feel there was something there and you had the sensation of in that memory of retrieving that, and I would say you would get the feeling of not sorrow. Like it didn't feel like it was like a terrible incursion or something, but there was something like you're like, yeah, that's something that happened. Like something happened that was not good, and we had to deal with that, and things didn't go the best way, but something came out of that, and now you're in a way dealing with the result of that.
Okay. I was just asking because now's not the time to share that memory with everybody, but it's there. So
As soon as Null remembers like the name Absalom and this vision of a place, he's going to like whirl around and grab S by the shoulders and like get real close and then catch what he's doing and be like, terribly sorry. Do you have? Sorry, I don't know what came over me. Do you have the ability to look up where we are in the universe and see perhaps if you can find another location based on a name, possibly a city, and then see how far away we are, sort of a Google Maps situation.
Theoretically.
Because that was going to be my question, but, these two seem to be smarter than me, so I was going to let it go.
It's an old technology. Wait, well, no. Yes,
Fucking Faye here making Google Pen on his Starfinder. Okay, move on.
It's ancient tech.
Ancient tech.
What do you mean you don't know about it? This isn't ancient tech. It's still. This is what we're using.
Right?
That's why we got lost.
Google is forever.
I mean, it's theoretical. I can always. The bridge is probably going to be the best place with their star map. I could try.
Then perhaps it's time we go back to the bridge and figure out where we are.
I'm not quite ready for that. I have a couple more questions. Absalom. We're from Absalom. A city, maybe a place. I just recalled it. I see glass and metal and stars and a hub, and it's where we're from, or at least where we left from, or it's significant somehow. But maybe we can figure out where we are and how far we've come.
Mac, as an aside question, do you want me and us to make another check when Null mentions Absalom?
Not at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, right now it's like it didn't trigger enough to bring you. So the word Absalom is still something without
meaning.
Yeah, it's like a strong word. There's there's not something to.
Yeah, that's definitely a word. Okay.
Absalom. Yeah, I can look into that for sure.
Okay. And then Null's going to whirl back around to look at our plant friend whose name escapes me.
Pluquar.
Pluquar. Pluquar, my friend. This has been a very enlightening encounter. Do you know, and I apologize if this is a bit of an odd question, I don't think I've seen anyone else around the ship of your nature. Is that fair to say, Sakuran, or have we seen other plant people?
Nope.
Cool.
Haven't seen someone that looks like this.
Okay. I understand that you are having similar issues as we are having with our recall and memory. Do you know if there are other people like you? Are you one of a kind? Beyond the way in which every sentient being is one of a kind. I'm fascinated by you in a very scientific way, and would be very curious to know where you come from.
There's silence. As you were talking, and you said, you mentioned that haven't seen one like you, like one of your nature. Every more you see that, the stem goes from just being like this, like this, like this, like
a dog.
It just keeps going around though, because there's no bones.
It's like an owl.
Step.
Oh, could it do that? Not the moment. Not the rail. After a moment of silence, it does. You get the idea of a knot, as it also does that, and says, yes, I would like to know those answers too. Perhaps we could study further later. Right now, now that you enter, I would like to walk around outside of here to see and find what's happening outside the ship. I heard some voices from what I assume were the ship, that we should go to the living quarters, but doors were jammed from this side. now that you open, maybe I can go out.
Do you have a card anywhere that would let you in another room? Or is this your living quarters?
I mean, you are a plant. No offense. Sorry if that sounded. It would make sense if you lived here. I'm gonna go over there and stop
There's the
talking.
sensation of questioning itself. Like, do I have a card? This thing doesn't have eyes. So at the moment, you're not sure how it's seeing or how it's perceiving the world. But when you're looking at it, the only thing in its person, it's this like weird a placard with the symbol of the arcane and science arcane division, but there's nothing else in it. That's the only possession on it. So
I am not trying to discourage you from wandering around. But if this is where you're supposed to stay, maybe get some rest. I feel like we all need rest. It's been a time.
Yeah. So with that, I do want to go ahead and do a calm up to the bridge, hopefully to Megan, to see if there would be a time that S could come in and perhaps utilize some of their technology for gathering information.
Yeah, you take the communications and activate it and cycle through some of the channels, and there's chatter. Definitely there's some talk going about how, you know, X deck is clear, Y deck is clear, you know, like they're saying things are clear and they're checking around. There's also like people saying like, hey, this deck is sealed off, we can't access, you know. They're kind of doing a visual run of the damage. And as you get there, you make the call and you hear through the comms. Yes. What do you want? Who is it? What?
It's S. We were
Oh,
that
sorry.
group.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just I've gotten a hold of some stuff that's making me question things. I noticed you had a better technological grasp with the bridge, star maps, and the like. Was wondering if I could at some point come up there. I'd be willing to help you guys out for access.
We were thinking of calling for you for you help us getting the ship back on our safes, and we would. Okay, listen, we need fucking help. There's a mess here, and why you don't come back to the bridge where we can talk and discuss? We're figuring some things out here too. We got some couple answers about who we, you know, names and things like that. But the ship right now, it's
mess.
Yeah.
I'll pass the message along.
Copy that.
So comms close, and as Megan has, he's asked for us to go back to the bridge. They want us for all of us.
Intriguing. Well, turning back to plant friend.
Pluquar.
It's gonna take a time.
I certainly don't want to discourage you from going forth, especially since it sounds as though you've been in here for some time, although Kinsankara does present a valid point of it might not be safe. We might all be tired. And so I would like to offer you, I have the ability to make you a small sphere of tolerable conditions. And if you would like me to do that, and we could escort you into the living quarters or around other people while we go and attend our business on the bridge, that is something we could do.
I mean, if he doesn't have a room, and Mac is saying all of this while like facing a corner in the room because he felt bad for being rude to the plant earlier.
Oh no.
He just says maybe he can room with you. No, your room seems much like the conditions of this place with all the plants and the humidity and such.
Oh, certainly. If that is to your preference, I do have quarters, and you would be more than welcome.
And while they're saying this, Kay comes up, and you and I know each other, I think. Unless there are more of you of your kind on this ship, which I don't know. You're the first one I've seen. But I was working with you on helping you with acting more like other people, I think. So remember to gesticulate when you talk. It may not scare people as much.
I think the gesticulating scares people.
When you say that, and this is something now that all of you notice, that whenever he talks, the only way to perceive he's talking is that gentle glow. But for the most time, it's like seeing just a humanoid, a plant that looks like very humanoidish, not moving at all. There's not even a motion of breathing, nothing. It's just like still the whole time.
It's a stick.
Uh-huh. So when you don't really pick if it's thinking or like what is happening whenever like there's a pause, just there's a silence in your heads. And he turns his head a bit, moves his long hand like this. Again, it's long fingers, so it's just looking like that long motion.
So I'm going to 100% say that S was like halfway paying attention to Pluquar while it was just while they were still, but now that it's like just gesticulating, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm actually reading you as something.
Okay.
Yes. Just like that.
Finish that motion and left the hand still.
Not
okay.
As still. Move just a little bit all the time.
Looks over at Mac and he's not even breathing, just stark still at the wall. Very bad example.
Now moving. But now you just constantly notice his motions, though they're slow. Now that they're just constantly seeing that it's like. Yeah, just,
sway in the breeze.
Like,
sway in the non-existent breeze.
Yeah, it's like that. There's like just
be the leaf. Be the leaf.
Gently moving, like swaying, like it's like kind of adjusting.
Most sentient creatures shift on their feet. So maybe that in particular. And less arms. And she's gonna coach him for like 5 minutes on getting it to work right.
Okay. Roll me a.
What do you want?
What are the skills? I need a list of the skills. Like
do you
constantly.
Want like life science or?
I want to go to life science. This would be.
Science is
profession because she's counseling.
Yeah, this could be profession.
Fuck it, let's go. Yeah, that's your profession, and make it like the bonus will be from your charisma. So it's gonna be like.
It's not working.
Nat 2025.
Heck yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I think you would also add your ranks out of it.
Oh,
Because
then 36.
Jesus.
Bam. That's what we're talking about.
yeah, you begin coaching it, and you get to the point after a couple of minutes. You notice through this, because part of your profession is also being very perceptive toward people and getting those little points. You notice that there's this individual, Blue Hour. It's, for a lack of a better word, very observant, and it's following your instructions very carefully, paying attention to your moves, and it gets to the point that you're able to get it. That transmission of, hey, just don't stand still. Like, do even a motion in your head or something, which now that you're seeing that, you gather that motion, when I was talking with Nulodius and sometimes you, that it would tilt a bit, might be a bit of that residual that is slowly coming. And this help it. So yeah. Oh, okay. This might help more. Thank you a lot. And you see that it does like when I say thank you, it doesn't do like that, like long gesture, but it's like a slight, till like, like a bow-ish movement.
Okay.
I think I could go along with you to the living quarters.
Yeah, Kay will nod, and because I imagine that Kay has done a lot more research on how to be a normal person.
I wouldn't say normal person. I would say that has read more about the different ways the different races socialize. Like,
yeah,
there's a
that's
way
what
that
I mean, like a normality for most races.
The points in common, yes. Yeah, how to read them and help others.
They will look at the plant, and when everything settles again, and we have our memories back, we can resume our sessions, but not until then.
It nods. And when it nods, it not only moves the head, but like help like use a bit of the rest of the body to lean and emphasize a bit more on that. Well, do I follow you?
Yes, 1 moment. And Null is going to do whatever he does to cast magic, which I haven't quite established what that is. And
trial and error.
It just comes from the antenna.
That's
like
this
the
game.
One good antenna is just like
it's Tobey Maguire trying to figure out how to be Spider-Man. Like, go Web, go! that whole scene.
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah.
But I would like to cast Life Bubble on our friend, and it will create a 1-inch thick shell around the entire body that will be a tolerable condition selected for the plant. So I don't have to know what it is. The spell knows, and it will create tolerable living conditions for whatever that is. So humidity, air, and all that, and that will last for 24 hours.
Great.
So, and it's just like this very thin, shimmering layer surrounding our plant.
So, like, to your mind comes that like something you could help it, and as you like move your hands, you feel there's something else as you move, and that comes both from you and from around you, like the air, the something around you, and it comes from your hands. Comes this shimmering like dusty glow that it goes, and it moves up, not in an aggressive fast forward, but like firm moving, and it begins to cover it. And from this like what is it called, glow dust, it becomes more of a barrier, and it solidifies and then becomes a bit transparent, so it wouldn't look like a shell itself, but something like a shimmer across it whenever the light would hit in the certain places.
Mm.
You made him more beautiful.
Please, no one could do that. He's perfect just the way he is.
Mac, still facing the corner, just holds out a thumbs up. As he just agrees with you. He can't see it.
S has moved away from Mac after being unsuccessul.
Unsuccessful in removing it from the corner.
Yeah, and approaches Pukwar. Since we're heading out, I can help you get to the living quarters, and so that way you're not lost.
Yes. It's just like I have to say things, and as you guys begin to move, as you guys begin to move out and came to the living quarters, we're gonna take a break.
See you soon.
Hello and welcome back to Homeward. And we're gonna have a small like time skip as you guys take Blue Hour to the living living
Area.
living area. Living area.
Yeah.
Area. That's the word. Living area and let it there. People do react at seeing it, but also there's a lot of like questions
Big
of
plant monster.
like we've seen people that look like you don't even know it looks like they look like a dragon, but you've seen a couple of those. You've seen like there's so many types of races here, from
There was the otter.
There's the otter back in the bridge. So people are still like figuring out what is supposedly normal, what is not. So they do notice because this one is something that at least at the moment there's only one of this kind in the ship. So people notice, but they're also like, well, it's not attacking, doesn't look undead. So they're not running or shouting or anything, just like, okay. And it kind of wanders off, trying to like, whatever. Kind of socialize, kind of seeing around. You're still 100% unsure how this thing sees or perceives the world, but it goes on its way. Like very giraffe-like looking, moving with the sand, like very long, with long hands and on legs moving.
It perceives like all plants do. Photosynthesis.
Before I derail, you guys
That's right, Sekrid.
Begin making your way toward the bridge. And I don't know if you guys want to stop at somewhere, have any conversation to do. You have like the time it will take you to get to the bridge, which from the living area again would be like 10 minutes ish. There's elevators that take you.
I think S wouldn't be so much conversational, but he's looking at the palm where he has the burn mark from the cigarette as he's walking up. Just thinking.
While you're thinking,
He's looking at his new arm.
Kay will kind of speak up a little bit. There's something else I remembered. At some point in time in our journey, there was an incursion of sorts. I don't know what kind of incursion, but there was. And I was considered a doctor, but I am not a doctor yet. Whatever that means.
Well, you treated me, at least counseled me, based on my memory, and I was arrested for something and brought on here. Could it be possible that that'd be it? No. Mac waves off what would be probably looks like he's waving off a fleeting idea.
Given that S had the rumor of legionnaires, the centurions, would that be something that I could like hold on to look into in the further days, like incursion, trying to search memories for talk of that rumor, see if there's anything that lines up on a timeline? Like not right now. Like this is something that I want to look at too further.
Okay, we'll put a pin into that. Cool. Also, now that you're walking around and moving and seeing some of the people moving, whenever you mention the Legion for actually I think for the four of you, as you mentioned that word and you see some of the groups moving around that are patrolling, your eyes do caught the uniforms of some of them, the ones that are like red with a glimpse of gold and some silver in it, and it does bring to your mind like the association of that with that uniform in particular. So still not fully sure like what else entails, but at least like in your mind it's like those might be part of that detachment of that group.
So the Legion may not be bad people, but there was definitely some kind of incursion. Mac was arrested at some point. He doesn't know when or why, but Mac almost feels like that may be what he was arrested for, this incursion type thing. And he'll voice that more as like a maybe, but probably not. He'll look at himself and like, I get that I'm a big guy, but an incursion kind of boarding a ship, I mean, there's no way I would do that alone, and only one person was with me in my memory.
Kay kind of shrugs. I hope maybe after some rest to go to my office and go through, see if I can access any of the files. I don't know if I can, but I will try. And maybe in there it will have a key to unlocking at least some help for you, Mac. And maybe for me.
Why I lost my arm? What happened with that?
Again, another shrug with a head tilt.
Mac shrugs back.
I would be curious to know why someone would go through the trouble of planning an attack on a research vessel. Because typically you would think that would be sort of a merchant thing, going after something valuable, and I just...
So you want to use a D6?
I would be curious about why a research vessel would be the target of that.
You see Mac actually put his hand up.
Yes.
Well, sometimes research vessels, or what could be described as a research vessel, could be used to, for resources from one planet to another without people like pirates and such being caught on the wise side to, steal them. Like how if you were to transport something valuable, you wouldn't put it into a big targetable vehicle. You would put it into something that would be disguised.
In that case, though, wouldn't that present the...
Why do I know that?
Curious. In that case, wouldn't that suggest some level of indiscretion on the part of someone on the ship to relay the information that something valuable is being transported?
Or just some savvy pirates just hitting anything they could.
Actually, throwing a theory out there, everyone here is affected by amnesia. We can't remember anything, really.
What if we truly know is that Kay's a counselor, and is a botanist. I'm a criminal,
but that's we've all put that together
over time. We don't know anything else.
Discretion. What if there was something on here that was precious and a failsafe was wiping memory so that it couldn't get... What if this is all because of that? It's just a crazy out there theory.
You good, Noel?
Probably something that you'd read in a book or something, but...
No, you look like you're gonna fall down or pass out. Do you need to sit down or something?
Oh, that was Ray, the player.
Okay.
That was me going big brain.
Yes, Gabby.
The door of the elevator opens and you arrive to the bridge, where you're greeted with a now you would say more organized bridge crew, but they're still kind of moving around what do we do. There's one console that is not some consoles that are not working very well, and the center.
How's our space otter doing? Can I see him?
I'm looking at
Yeah.
Yeah, just immediately we all check on the space otter because obviously he's our favorite.
He's important to chat, so he's important to us.
He's important to chat, and I like otters, so.
Yeah, you enter, and among all the different officers, and with their uniforms, you just see this otter standing in one of the chairs, also uniform like that, kind of checking on one of the consoles, and you see that it kind of turns a bit in the chair and says, it just shouts in general, doesn't seem to be directing somebody. Consoles still down, so I do not know how to call for help anybody. I'm trying really hard right now to control this thing. Could somebody hey, the four guys, help us. They arrived. He points at you. They point at you, and like the rest of the bridge crew, at least more of them, like pay attention directly to you, including like you see that the ones at like the front-ish of the table are Megan, along with the large dragon-like name Krelwan. No, Krelwan.
Yeah.
And along with them, you see the other La Junta that you saw, the one with like a brownish color skin called Bahibel.
Bahibel Kelthorn?
You see at the front, you see Megon, Kreltwan, and Bahibel. I will share the names in a moment for you guys.
Sounds great. If I remember correctly,
what is the otter's name?
Kreltwan, that is the one that has the red and gold uniform, right?
Yes, it has some of that uniform, and it's this dragon-like individual with long wings that are like folded.
Right, and Megan is the one that has the ships like gray and teal, right? Or is it Megan
also has that uniform of the Legion, and his skin is like a kind of a palish color, along with the very long and pointy ears, like
WoW elves.
Yeah, like WoW elves.
Oh, we
like
love WoW elves.
The very long not
the ridiculously long ones.
Yeah, like very long.
The
so
eyebrows
it doesn't.
too, or just the ears?
No, actually, Megan, you see that doesn't have much hair. Like even you're not even sure if it has like brows, but the ears are very long and they are very pointy at the end. I'll share an image of how his race looks like a bit later.
And second, I do have to ask you a very serious question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the otter's name?
At the moment, you haven't asked.
Cool. Guys, we're gonna have to ask the otter's name. If only for the chat.
The otter's right there, Mac. You're allowed to ask.
Yeah, I should. That was Sky asking. But yeah, Mac will go over and ask the otter his name. He definitely looks like he's like 16 years old and has no idea what he's doing.
I mean, if you don't ask his name,
and Mac is concerned.
How otherwise you're gonna know it?
Mac is concerned that we let the 16-year-old drive, so he's gonna ask his name and how old he is because he doesn't look old enough to have a driver's license.
I mean, if you look at it, like you do see. I mean, still looks like a goddamn otter, but like through this part of it, the hair looks a bit grayish. The fur looks a bit grayish in this section, making it look like it has like this beard, like comes from here into this section. It makes it look that way, but it's a bit grayish. Apart of that, it looks like an otter in a uniform.
I'm gonna color one of my otters and put him in a space uniform. Are you kidding me? This is just gonna hang out back here. So, excuse me. I don't just want to call you Mr. Space Otter. So, what's your name?
You're talking to me?
Well, Mac's gonna look around. You, do happen to be the only space otter here, unless
What's an otter?
he's gonna look down at his shirt and see if he's being piloted by a space otter, and then go, "Yeah, you would be the only space otter here.
Am I an otter? Am I an otter?
You would be what I would describe as an otter, yes.
What?
The closest thing I could describe. Can I get to the computer system and like pull up a picture of an otter?
You can certainly try. Meanwhile, the rest of you roll computers in the meantime. The rest of you, what you guys doing?
He's an otter.
I want to first. I want to approach Megan, but I've got the best repertoire with them. Though S is very obviously a little bit more wary, not a lot, but definitely eyeing them a little concerned. And then just doesn't have to be a full RP. Would basically offer his skills and services in return for being able to use the bridge's star map and computers to check into something, which would be looking for Absalom on the map.
Got it. Okay. There's going to be again, because they're going to say a few things, and I'm not going to do all of that in RP unless you guys want. But in the meantime, Mac.
Oh, we're going back to the otter. Okay.
Yeah, as you check in the computer for an image of an otter, and that was a nat 20.
Yeah, Max gets computers to work almost as fast as S does.
Yeah,
but only for otters.
Yeah, it only works on otters. Yeah.
You don't find about an otter. You find, like, as you're trying, and for some reason you're like, this has to be a Sisyphe. You find about a race called Breneri.
Breneri?
Yes, I'll share in a moment how that's written, because...
Hold on, because if Mac dies, this is exactly what I'm doing next.
A Breneri.
It's just an otter in space, and I love it.
Now that you have done that, I might as well look for the image, the one that inspired this. It's gonna derail, guys. This is gonna be a derailment. I am.
Chat. He's not sorry. Don't listen to him.
I posted in the public chat how they look, and the inspiration for it.
Oh my god!
Oh, I love it.
I love him. I would die for him. In real life.
So it's not exaggeration when I say it's a space otter. It's just.
I love him so much.
All right, hold on a minute, because I'm gonna do something.
Oh, are we gonna get a Twitch?
Maybe you're gonna get a showcase of my PC for a second there. Download.
Like you could only see like the bottom half of me there for a second. It's great.
I mean, Kelsey, we wouldn't mind if you also joined the Discord to check that out.
Would not mind.
It would be great. Oh my God, yes. For a moment, we could see it. There goes. There's the otter.
Yeah, and poor Ray is like half cut off for this showcase.
I love it so much.
That's for the best.
Of this thing. And look at his little face. It's so cute. All right.
Yep, that's.
Still ask his name.
You do see that it's like, oh, that's my race.
Yeah, it would appear that you're a Berneri.
Okay. Thank you.
What's your name?
I don't know.
Check him for a name tag.
You don't find a name tag. You do find the indication of he being a bridge officer.
Well, you're a bridge officer, so maybe you're in the system somewhere. There can't be many Berneri on this ship, so I guess I suggest looking through the records. My name is Mac. Or Amos McIntosh.
It offers its tiny hand compared to your large hand.
Shake his hand.
You shake your hand. At the beginning, because you're used to something not as small, you shake it a bit. It's like, oh.
I very quickly. It goes very gently because I was very concerned. Cause I just want to hurt the otter.
And as you mentioned, the ship records. You do see. You do hear Megan saying, "Well, that's one of the many problems we have." And he'll begin telling you guys that overall, the state of the ship is not good.
Yeah.
There's many corridors and sections like connecting different parts of the ship that are damaged.
Yep.
And sections that blew up a bit. As two of you might have a bit of a very close experience with those situations. There's a situation also of the many bodies across the entire ship of those undead and that now are staying still for the moment. And along with that, the communication, the navigation are damaged. The records of the ship and overall data are not computer systems and data storage are damaged too, and in some cases they're not even able to be reached out, so need to be reactivated. In the central table of the ship, of the bridge, where you can see like the whole progression, which every now and then when it's trying to show you different things, it flickers, and it's also apparently damaged. They also mentioned that what it would be called the engineering section 2 and assembly are damaged. The hangar seems to be damaged too. Access to the armory and training facilities are damaged. And well, the systems indicate that the drift engines are not at 100%. Whoever has training in what's it called? It's piloting, and actually I think piloting can be anyone. Yeah. If you have experience.
Max got this.
Yeah.
Resident Flyboy.
If you have training in engineering or in physical science, you can roll for that. Or if you have if you want to do a piloting check, piloting check.
I'm
And
gonna
you
roll
can
engineering.
I'm also rolling engineering.
To that.
Yeah.
I did like those numbers, Sigrid.
If you do, ooh.
So I got a 19 on the die, and that's plus 16 from piloting.
I was gonna say probably you had your intelligence instead of your dex, but you still had that training. So yeah.
Yeah, engineering, I got 17 with a 14, so a total of 31.
My engineering, I got an 18 plus a 12 for a total of 30.
Even if I were just to add my intelligence,
you would be...
Sigrid, it would just be a 15 instead of a 16.
Yeah. No, Lorius, do you have any training in engineering, in physical science? No?
No,
I was just watching all three of us like talk back and forth through our ideas.
Yeah.
Noel is attending to the potted plants on the bridge.
There's not
He brought
pots of
them with
plants
him.
yet in the bridge.
They're all plastic.
There's a plastic cactus in the captain's chair on the side.
That's the captain currently. I left him there.
In that case, he's
Put
just,
a plastic cactus in the piloting chair.
Noah's just standing politely near one of the windows, looking out at space with his hands clasped in front of him.
Yeah, you're hearing and you're paying attention to this, and some of the stuff like kind of resonates with you, but also it's like they're saying like we repairs in the corridors. We're like, nope. We need repairs in engineering. Nope. We need repairs in this. Like, you're just waiting for something that you are like, yes, I know, but right now there's going to be a long list of engineering problems that So for the three of you, when there's the mention of the drift engine and not working, it comes to your mind something important. In Starfinder, the drift engines. This I'm gonna separate the knowledge in something that you would already know, and this is also something that no one would know, and the thing you get from the. So drift engines are like the main way of transport across the universe in Starfinder, across stars. And in a way, it's what you experience when you jump out of the dying star and outside of that system. It basically like a hyperdrive. And now,
I was thinking warp.
The thing that the three of you remember with that role is that it opens all drift engines the way it works, and this is something that you know because situation that happens in the story, in the history of Starfinder, is that the knowledge was imparted by a god. Suddenly, all of sentient beings knew how to somewhat construct different styles of drift engines. All of them open like a rift into the space, creating like a kind of like opening a ninth level spell gate and passing through like this in between. And also even passing through the other planes and jumping into somewhere. The point is that all drift engines from the pack worlds, are made in a way that is attuned to the Starstone. And the Starstone is at the core of Absalon. And that's something that started ringing more because then you remember Absalon is Absalon Station, one of the biggest station that exists in the pack worlds. And the Starstone basically makes it so as a lighthouse for all the Rift engines. No matter how far you are, if you turn on your Rift engine and use your navigation to point at there, you will be in matter of minutes if you're very far. If you're close, it could be even seconds that you can be back at it. And apparently, the Rift engine is damaged. And because of navigation is also damaged, you're neither able to pick up the signal and neither able to activate the Rift engine.
So if we fix navigation, we fix the drift engine.
Or we have to fix both.
Well, yeah.
Both. There's damage in
like
the Rift
separately
engine.
Things.
Mm-hmm.
I would 100% bring this up to Megan. So some of the things that we were able to pick up through our explorations is a little bit about what we were doing. We were exploring planets, ones that were uncharted, new, or didn't have a lot. But with all these damages, we may want to return. I believe Kay and Melodius said home is Absalom. If we want to focus on that, then our primary objectives would be fixing navigation and fixing the drift engine.
When you mention that, even mention Absalom, there's the bridge itself kind of stops for a moment, and like that name rings somewhat of a certainty, and like a recognition for a moment, and everybody nods. Yes, if we can fix that, then we should be able to get back home. The damage in navigation seems to be both internal and outside. There's some of the sensors damage, and we're not sure about the Rift engine. We're still checking that. And a part of all of the long list of things that we need to repair inside, and also repair some of the defenses of the ship, there is the thing about the people. People are still scared. People are trying to find where to settle, trying to figure out who each one they are. And we're trying to get as much people as we can to start fixing things around. But the truth is that we ourselves, including you, this ship is big, and
That's fine.
distracted at the cat catching. And we this is a big ship. Even if all the ones that we are in this room we started to get working together, we won't be able by ourselves. We need the rest of them settled and also figured. And
So, what would it take to get the ship records working again? Because if we get the records working, we could start finding people and putting them on the tasks that we need them to be on. Like fixing the drift engine and the navigation.
Well, since
Mac, who just had a smart idea.
Since finding the corrupted files earlier, if I can work on a file repair, that can be my first task to help with at least saving what left of the data we've got.
I can take a look at the drift engine and see what's going on and what's wrong with it. At least I could probably get closer than any organic being and really actually see what's going on in there. I at least know what I'm looking for. I think.
we're going to need all the sections reactivated in a way or another. So whatever we can get from you, we will appreciate it heavily. And as he's saying that, you're picking this on him and also starting to pick it on everyone in the bridge, including yourselves. This has been a long day. You are feeling tired.
To someone else, and I will say it to all of you. Take a shift if you need to, and get some rest. You're no good to anyone exhausted. Do I have to roll diplomacy to convince people?
Mac just walks over and hugs Kay right there. Just hugs her. Just hugs Kay.
Roll.
There's a weird crunch.
Yeah, Mac doesn't know his own strength. It's not as high as you think it is, but
roll with that. And I'm gonna say the gesture from Mac will add will add a +2 to that, because it's like a moment of like, yes.
Hold on.
Like,
I need a D6.
Oh, that's right. You have to add your D6 because your expertise.
Okay. So that's... Give me a minute. I have to math.
Do it. Yeah, we'll take a moment.
Tell us that insane number.
or Mac is giving you a +2.
38.
Oh, God.
The Mac hug bonus.
It would have been 36 without the Mac hug.
Good, because the DC was 37. No, it was not fucking 37.
Mac hug bonus.
I mean, you could say that. No one would know.
DC was actually like 7.
It was like it was a 25. I did the calculation of like, okay, what things would come into this DC? What would calculate into it? But yeah, you say that, and there is a moment that you see some of the crew like drop in that sensation of like, you see that their shoulders dropping for a moment, and the Krilt one like pats the back of Megan. I'll take the first ship. You go and rest. And the dragon like looks at every one of you. If something happens, we'll call you over here, but probably you also need some rest.
I will give them my room number, since I know it, and my office number for like where they are in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't reach me at one, try the other.
We'll try also. Here, our friend, the little one, he nods toward the otter. Though he hasn't remembered his name, some here don't fully remember either. He has managed a way to get some of the inside comms of the ship moving. So he'll make call outs for everybody if need to be.
I'll have
I'm gonna call him Bren for now.
the personal comm on me if you need my assistance.
I think we all got personal comms on us.
To get a hold of me would be easier.
Yeah, if you need any of us, I think we've all got personal comms. Bren, if you need one of us, specifically Bren, if you need one of us, anytime.
Apparently, I was also a counselor in the ship. So perhaps once I figure out a little bit more of what I'm doing, I might be able to help others recall things.
I'll work on getting that computer and data services and systems fixed so that way it makes your job easier, Kai.
I mean, if I'm not working on the drift engine, I can see if I can help you, S.
We'll be rooming together, so.
The antenna twitch a little bit, and the thought process of a thank you without the actual words of thank you come to your brain, S.
S does not react as Faye just did. S just kind of S just kind of there's a small nod, like acknowledging that he's received your message.
And I have a lot of books, so if anyone needs help falling asleep, that is the greatest service I can personally provide right now.
Well, you've also got plants and a knowledge of plants. My guess is at least others are going to need to eat. So we don't know what food is good, what food isn't good. Maybe you can get started on that with the help of our new friend, Plant Guy.
I was going to...
God, I can't even read my own notes.
Accurate to Mac.
I was
that
going to
Sky can't read her own notes.
I was going to take a perusal of my resources to get a better understanding of what sort of plants we have down there, medicinal or otherwise. So that is what I will be spending my time doing.
And of course, with all of us here, as kind of looks to you guys, if you ever need help on your projects, I'm willing to assist if I'm not busy in my own.
I have no skills with a computer outside of when they work properly. So I might need help getting into my office computer systems.
Sounds like I'm your guy.
I know it has a biometric scanner, but that's about it.
A lot of things, biometrics were a big safety thing when it came to computers because you couldn't really hack it, but
you're like my grandma with her new smartphone, okay? It has a password.
Would I be able to say, based on other of my own race that I've seen, that I'm belong in the younger crowd of my race versus the older crowd of my race?
I always remember that Kay is like so young. It's great.
I think we're all very young for our character.
I think at the moment that would be something not.
Like, I'm not to remember the exact number, but just to compare it to the other ones that I've seen.
Possibly, you're not fully certain. The only one you have interacted a bit more has been the one that is also in the bridge, along with the large Vesk. Two ones that were like,
who is also younger.
Kind of, the two of them looked younger, and they're also like in the ones in the controls of the piloting section. Those two, at least that Sheeran in particular, you realize that it's.
Oh.
I heard weird noises outside.
Ooh.
It's Bigfoot.
Always.
Definitely.
No, it's probably
Or Mothman.
Never mind. I'm just gonna let it go. You were saying.
Yeah. You identify that one is very young. You're not sure exactly where it would qualify, considering all the situations. Probably old enough that it can have that kind of job, but still young. I would say you have identified you kind of young. Not sure exactly where in the whole spectrum.
Right.
You need a bit more.
I'm not in larval stage, but I'm not old.
Exactly. You're still like, yeah. And even though at this moment, they are indeed larva. There's some image about that. I'll share that with later.
God, that's such a great image in my head now.
I'll send you a picture of that later.
Please don't.
At some point, I think you're not even sure. I'm not even sure Kay would identify that, the starting point of your race is a larva. You're still figuring out a lot of things, so not yet.
Okay.
Just a purple larva just squidging around.
No, they stay in these little
It's baby
capsules.
K!
The capsules are adorable, and they are situated so that they can see the world around them.
Oh.
And they reach maturity at the ripe old age of 3.
That's adorable.
Okay, I've met some 3-year-olds.
Yeah, but were those 3-year-olds like constantly absorbing information in a way that was it was
some of them.
I'm just saying that the way that their whole biological
other ones, I don't know if they're going to make it 4.
Look at everything and absorb it while they are developing.
Well, the other question is, and I know we've had similar questions, do bugs sleep? Like, actually, like, I know they rest.
I'll get out the Google again.
Let's go to Google. Do bugs sleep?
I'm going to Google. Do bugs sleep?
Yeah, somebody Google it for me, because if I pull it up, it's going to mess up the whole stream.
Do bugs feel pain? Do they have blood? Do bugs
The short answer is yes.
Insects sleep like all animals. They require time and rest.
I will say because Sharon are even more evolved kind of organism, and because
I genuinely had no idea.
Bugs
learned
sleep.
So much bug trivia for this. It's great.
Yes. I have no idea what things I have I Google about the difference. Like, does this thing do?
What is going on with
my
this
Google
group?
algorithm is going to be so great after this.
Yeah. Yeah, you would require a sleep, and because you're even a more evolved organism than just a tiny fly or a
mosquito,
crawly insect. Yeah, you have more process that would require you actual sleep.
Okay.
So Megan does nod to his
That was weird.
companion, the dragon Kreltuan, and if you guys want to head out to your respective quarters with certain guidance from Map Boy over here, you can guide yourselves in.
You're not wrong.
I just go wherever he tells me the map jives, so...
You're not wrong. It's basically just a GPS at this point.
But you're a very pretty GPS. I should stop talking. I should just listen when the voice says to not talk. And Mac just stops talking at that point.
Okay.
He's realizing that there's no filter in his brain.
You guys then begin making your way into your different rooms, and as a last scene that I want to cover, Kay, you
Yes.
arrive into your room and you have your, there's still the mess of the swan, fruit swan there.
I'm gonna eat that at some point.
At some
Lovely.
point.
Please do so
but
on camera.
You
No.
do hit.
I'm not gonna on camera eat a fruit swan.
Eat a fruit swan?
Hey, they're expensive and I don't have that skill.
I was just talking about like on stream have the K scene of eating, like not like the actual you eat a swan for K.
Oh, I'm not that good of an artist. Anyway, please continue,
Yes.
sir.
Sorry, second.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Really ourselves.
You do hit like in there, close the door behind you. And you're feeling quite tired. You head into the what would be the bedroom itself, and squiggly does motion around in your neck and moves out of the form of the tie and just remains there in your shoulder in its amorphous pink-like form.
I'm gonna like scritch it. As you would like touch jello and like rub it with your finger.
As you would a cat.
No. Because cat involves actual scritching. I'm talking like just going like this.
Pleasantly rub it.
Yes.
Yep.
It's showing affection without hurting it because I have fingers that hurt.
It
I'm
does
weird.
receive the affection accordingly, and at least you feel it does that. There's like, because of your telepathy, it helps you connect a bit easier. And in your room, you reach there and to the side, or like in your like, what we call the bed table? Is it called that?
Nightstand.
Nightstand?
Night table, yeah, night table. There's, you see, there's like a remote control.
I'll pick it up and look at it and press a button.
Among the various buttons, there's the classic like red button with the turning on symbol, and you press it, and you see that you hear first like sounds as some panels inside your room move, revealing to the left and to the right and left
You got there.
some speakers,
Massive subwoofers.
and
Yes.
above the bedside there's an actual subwoofer, like the what's the name of the one that goes in the middle? It basically opens various
the
compartments
base.
across the
It's
base.
just a huge surround sound system
There's
in
a
your
surround
bedroom.
Yes.
Yes.
There is.
What do
Where
you get up
blast
to?
metal.
So
And in the control, there's also the various symbols. Like there's one that is a square, one is like two lines, and one that is like a triangle. And there's a sensation of remembering what each one means.
okay.
But at the moment, at least from the position you are, you're not sure where the screen would be of like selecting things.
I'm just
as
gonna
you like
press
say.
the play button and see what happens. Now, granted,
Okay.
mind you, I have a playlist for this character, everyone, and I will post it in the public channel if you want to give it a listen.
Just
Oh, I
We
can
should-
post S's there.
confirm.
Yeah, we should all build playlists, so I should
Confirm
actually
is
build
something.
Mac.
Is this kind of music, right? Because is that kind of music?
It's some of it is heavy metal, some of it is electronic, but it's
Okay.
like drum and bass electronic.
Yeah, I figured.
So it's
I
heavy on
It's
the
rave
bass.
music.
yeah.
Not rave. I don't like rave, and neither does Kay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you press it, and we as an audience shift view outside of Kay's room, as there's some people walking by, and they're passing in front of the door.
I feel so bad for them right now.
When suddenly this rumbling bass sound comes out, and because some of the inside systems of a case room are not active for sound canceling for the outside, it rumbles that section, making those people jump, scared this might be another thing, and they just bolted in the corridor. And that's where we leave our tonight's part of the story, as you guys have discovered more, figured a few more details, and drop the bass.
Drop the bass. Literally.
So
I want to explain to everybody real quick why she listens to this music. And it's because they have tremor sense. And the vibration, they could see the vibrations.
I thought it was just because it was good music.
It helps distort their vision so they can actually sleep.
Oh.
Think of it like a reverse sound chamber.
Like white noise? It's like reverse white noise.
Yeah.
More like black noise.
Black noise?
God, I hate black noise.
If you've ever seen Daredevil, the soundproof thing that he sleeps in, it is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't in the series he actually listens like that kind of music because of that same situation?
No, it's a soundproof.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite. It's completely
so it's
soundproof.
Complete sensory deprivation tank. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
They don't use, like, Kay does not use a sensory deprivation tank because those are more expensive than subwoofers. And they've discovered that loud music is cheaper to maintain a proper sleep schedule.
Just there's a smash cut to S and Mac, and it's just the complete opposite.
They're on the floor below me, and all they hear is...
And they're so annoyed. They're both got cigarettes hanging out of their mouth. Mac is like not like
Who
only
is this
half
person?
Only half of him is on the couch. Like all of almost the entirety of his legs are hanging off, and just S. Who the hell lives above you?
S refuses to say it, even though he knows. You get used to it.
I hate everything.
Well, yeah, that's where this story will live for tonight. As for the audience, just letting you know, there's gonna be a time skip of a couple of days as people begin working on different things and getting ready for the next part of their journey. So let me see, what announcement do we have?
It's September officially.
September officially. Do you
so
remember? No,
it is if I can do that, it's September, which I think means half off all subs. If it's either 20 or half off, I have the email somewhere. But that's on your subs or gifted subs.
Oh, that's right.
It's Twitch September.
Well, now we know where those subs are going to be going, right?
Not here.
Yeah, it's all going to go to Faye. So.
I think, are we going to have couples therapy on Saturday?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, maybe we'll have a couples therapy. I don't think any show will be happening this week. There's very high possibility that the next episode of End by Night will be streamed on Sunday. Very high possibility. Letting people know, but if not, we'll be seeing people for End by Night if not on Sunday, on Monday. And I think for the moment that will be all for the shows for the Nara Asylum at the moment. We're gonna be having a bit of hiatus from some of the shows. Let's throw it now to
I have the numbers for September.
I mean, if you want to do September real quick, because mine's
Okay.
real quick.
Yeah, so just to give chat at least the numbers, so it's 20% off 1 month, 25 off 3 months, and 30% off 6 month subs for September, and that's off of your subs and gifted subs. And if you have Prime, that's still a free Prime sub wherever you put it.
Heck yeah. And for me, Faye, if you want to catch more of me and what I do, Little Witch RP, that's where you can head over. We've got a full Discord server as well as a website, which I just dropped in chat. As well as we have an official Facebook and Twitter at Little Witch RP on both of those. So please head over there and see what we got to offer for you.
I was thinking, we have Cornerstone next week. Am I confusing weeks?
You are not confusing weeks. Cornerstone is supposed to be next week, but I have not prepped enough to have it done. So we will skip next week for Cornerstone, as our level 15 players are planning a prison break.
Oh,
that's right. That's why we. That's right. That I forgot that session will require extra planning for a prison break of
one of their members, which they don't know why they got arrested, but one of their members got arrested.
That sounds like a D&D campaign if I've ever heard one.
Yep, they've got to figure out where the prison is, how to get into it, and how to get out.
Ocean's 11. Do it.
The DM needs to find that information too.
I have the book. I just need to get it prepped all the way. Okay. And all of your encounters inside and therein. It will probably be a 2-parter. So
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Okay. Well, wait that.
And I get maybe stay tuned to the Homeward public server.
Yeah, 100%.
There may be some stuff happening.
Check out
before the next episode.
We might be sharing some stuff in the Discord. Some texts of things that may or may not be happening around for the characters. But without further ado, thank you all for watching. Thank you for passing in.
Bye.
Nerdy. Bye.